And it just did again. But one second. Can you still hear me right now?
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Am
All right.
I
Well, that's the
frozen?
most. We're both frozen on my screen, and so. But as long as we can hear each other, that's the most important thing. So I'll get it started. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Bump and Run. I'm Pete Colasano, joined as always by my good friend and Denver Broncos fan, Mr. Scott Bracey. What's going on today, dude?
Ho, ho, ho! A week from Christmas, as we have maybe the game of the year so far tonight in the NFL.
Indeed. We got a lot to cover. College football playoffs is upon us. We're on the eve of the first game, which is a lot of fun. Some interesting stuff, some not so interesting stuff. But one of the things that you kind of, I don't know, flippantly, I guess, threw the idea out last week, but I've thought about this for a week and I'm really starting to like it more and more, is the idea of a separate championship for a group of 5 teams. And I look and I say, I looked at James Madison's schedule, and their one loss this year, their only loss this year was to Louisville. And Louisville was a good team, not a great team, but a good team this year. And in fact, that game was tied going into the fourth quarter. And then Louisville scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns and ended up winning 28-14. So it was a close game against Louisville, who's a real team, not a powerhouse, but a real team. But I just was thinking, like, wow, do you think James Madison would rather be in these particular playoffs facing Oregon, or would they rather be a number 1 or number 2, depending on them and Tulane, I guess, a number 1 or number 2 seed in their own group of 5 playoffs? And I think there were years, and I think this is the reason that it's set up this way. I think there have been years where teams were able to compete at this level. I don't know about for 4 straight weeks, but they were able to compete. We've talked about Boise State. We talked about Utah, who went undefeated. We talked about Central Florida when they were undefeated. And those teams, when they were undefeated, they weren't just undefeated. Like, they were destroying everyone in their path. And so I think something that we talked about last week has been rattling around in my brain the entire week. And I really love the idea. If you're an undefeated group of 5, let's have a separate group of 5 national championship. And think about how many teams that is that would now actually have a chance at a national championship. It would actually be worth it to spend money on NIL and actually have an opportunity to win. I think it would grow the game even more. And have now you would have 2 teams, 2 opportunities for national champions. And in the rare case of those Boise States, Utahs, or Central Floridas that are undefeated, crushing everybody, and they get ranked in the whatever number you want to come up with, top 10, top 12, however you want to call it, they're that good, they're undefeated, and they have one group of 4 victory. I don't care over who, but they have one group of 4 victory. Then they have the option to be in the big show as opposed to the second second tier of national championship teams. I think that's such a great opportunity. I think most of those teams would even first of all, they would value playing the bigger schools even more, because now an upset really offers you an opportunity. But if you choose, you just want to be the group of 5 national champion, that's a wonderful thing for those kids to get to raise that trophy.
Hosting home games like they do in the
absolutely. And I look at James Madison, and even Tulane, and I'm sure there's others if we were to look a little deeper, but those are the 2 that are in the CFP this year. And I say, after the season you've just had, an epic season. I think JMU is 12-1, and I think Tulane is 11-2. Don't you want a chance to raise an ultimate trophy, not just your conference championship trophy? I really do believe, and I was listening to somebody within the last couple of days on ESPN, I believe it was, and he was talking about it's an idea, but it's probably a few years away. And I'm like, well, we can speed these things up. Nothing needs to be a few years away. We can move faster on that. And whether they take our idea of it's an option if you're undefeated and you have one group of 4 victory or not, whatever. Like we can argue that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I just think that would take number one, that would take a lot of the controversy out of this. There would still be teams, on the back end that are like, think they should be in, think they should be out, whether it's but a Notre Dame and maybe even a Texas or a Vanderbilt or somebody like that would probably be in this tournament. And I think most people would be happy about that. And I even think James Madison and Tulane would be happy about that, because wouldn't it be more exciting if they were seeds 1 and 2 in their own tournament and ended up playing each other for a one, we'll call it a 1AA or whatever you want, 1B national championship? I think they would relish that opportunity to raise that kind of trophy.
And even for the networks too, it's more fucking TV, more football, more money, more, yeah.
Absolutely. And if you look at like 1AA with, I guess, what they call FCS and Division 2, Division 3, they actually get ratings for their playoff games on ESPN, ESPN2, Fox Sports, CBS Sports. They actually get ratings for those games because it's kind of neat. And there's people at those games because the games matter. It's not just some bowl game that you and I have discussed, like doesn't really matter too much. People aren't there. People won't show up and they're not watching as much, although they watch more than most people. Would be shocked to know how many people actually tune in. You'd be in a playoff system that you could actually get through it and win, as opposed to, this is nice, I guess it's cool, but JMU's probably going to go get smacked. Tulane's probably going to go get smacked. If one of them were to somehow win, they're sure as shit not winning next week. So I don't know. The more I thought about it and the more it was kind of rattling around in my head the last few days, the more and more I like it.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Let me make a phone call and make that happen. NFL Week 15. Last Sunday afternoon, the Chiefs are dead and buried. Chargers 16, Chiefs 13. Chiefs had a dominant first 28.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Gave the ball over to the Chargers. Chargers scored a touchdown with less than a minute left in the first half. And you could feel the whole stadium lose its juice.
Yep.
Went throughout the locker room, went throughout the team. And then in the last seconds, Pat Mahomes tears his ACL. He's out for the rest of the year, out for probably a little bit of next year. Absolutely horrible. I hate to see that. He got hit more than any quarterback in the league this year. A lot of his own doing, and a lot of a makeshift offensive line at the end of the last month or so.
Some of it's him trying to play hero ball, and to be fair, to a degree, he has to, because they're just not that good. You're mentioning the offensive line, which is, I don't know, close to one of the worst. I didn't look at the PFF rating, but it's not good. They can't run the ball and they can't protect. So I can't imagine that they're ranked very high. I don't need a rating to know what I see when I'm watching these games. Neither of these teams are particularly really good. The Chargers are more resilient, it looks like to me.
Yeah.
They have a little bit more in the weaponry to score points. But if you look at even the last few weeks, you talk about the Chargers who are missing both of their starting offensive tackles. It's a problem. And you can see it in the protection. Herbert gets hit, right up there, top 5 with most hits in the league. Broken hand. As big as he is, he's still getting hurt. You look at his stats over the last few weeks, they're not great. They're not great. He's throwing 50-something, low 50s completion percentage, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 170. He's not putting up monster numbers, but it's just because he can't. There's just no protection. But they're just a little more resilient. There's just a little bit more playmakers there, and maybe slightly better defense. Slightly better. Kansas City still has a good defense, but it's not as good as it's been in the last couple of years.
No.
So there's a little more resilience. And you have to also remember, these are two teams going in different directions. Chargers are a young team trying to ascend. Kansas City is a grizzled old veteran team on the descent. So that has a lot to do with it too. So even if they are close in talent, one's going in one direction, one's going in the other. Sad ending. I don't like that. We never want to see our stars get injured like that. I heard reports today that's about a 9-month rehab. I don't know why his would be shorter than anybody else's, but maybe it wasn't a complete tear. I have no idea. But 9 months does bring him back at some point in September, I think. So, maybe we'll get Mahomes for most of the year next year. We'll see about that.
They're going to have a different team next year, my friend.
They have to, right? There's a lot there. A lot is a funky thing to say. they need a real wide receiver. They need to fix that offensive line, maybe more than anything.
How about a run game?
And a running back. Like, those are the biggest to me. If you look back historically, since Andy Reid has been there and since Mahomes has been there, but even when Alex Smith was quarterbacking, always had a really good offensive line, always had pretty nice weapons, and have had some decent running backs. And right now they're barren on most of those.
Same thing in this game too. Dominant first half, and it kind of flipped on its ass. Buffalo 35, Patriots 31. New England 21-0 to open up this game. Like, holy shit, man, this is crazy. They're gonna get swept by New England. Like,
yep, bad too.
All of a sudden, the snow cart's coming down, and Josh Allen turns into fucking Superman. He is fun to watch, man. He does not have much weapons on his team either.
It's not just that. James Cook went off in the second half of that game.
Good player.
New England had no answers. To be fair, they don't have great weapons there in Buffalo. Certainly not with wide receivers. They got good tight ends. They have a really good offensive line. I suspect they probably have a top 5 offensive line, top 6, whatever. And they can run the ball. Josh Allen often has to be Superman, but I just heard a stat today from Greg Cosell, who said that the Buffalo Bills have the second most rushing attempts in the second half in the entire league this year.
Really?
Which is funky because a lot of these games they have to come from behind, and we just
Who's
look
first, the Rams?
I don't know. They were talking about Buffalo and how Josh Allen has to carry this team. And he's like, he doesn't carry as much as you think. He makes some unbelievable plays. And sure, if you account for 6 touchdowns in one game, then you're carrying him that particular game very much so. But he was saying, like, make no mistake, like, they were down 21-0 and they came out in the second half and ran the shit out of the ball. They didn't just drop Josh Allen back 50 times and say, go ahead and throw it and get us out of here. Now, he made some great plays, made some great throws, made some great runs. Josh does what Josh does, right? He's unbelievable. But a lot of their ability to make comebacks comes off the running game, shockingly enough, because usually it's not that way. When you fall behind, you got to throw it. But they stay relatively patient, and it paid off this week. They did make some adjustments on the defensive side of the ball that clearly confused Drake May. They had one score that I remember. I think it was just the one score on a one-play drive. But for the most part, they really shut him down, which is wild to me. Like, to give up, for it to be as bad as it was in the first half, to then shut him down in the second half is pretty impressive, pretty wild.
Agreed. Good one in Mile High, although another injury. Denver 34, Green Bay 26. Micah Parsons.
That's a tough one.
Tears his knee up too. The first one on grass that I can remember in a long time.
There were 3 ACL tears this weekend, which is not good.
Well, especially early mid-December. Not good either.
2 of them are on grass. You're right, though. 2 of them are on grass.
Broncos, Bo Nix played his best game of the year against a very good defense. Throwing the ball well. Running game got going. Couple guys there. Defense is fantastic. They could get after anybody's ass, which is hopefully going to carry them a long way.
Yeah.
Green Bay, tough to go to Mile High. They played well in the first half. Kind of flustered in the second half a little bit. Love those interceptions, those 2 back-to-back, I think, if I'm not mistaken, on back-to-back drives. Then Micah goes down, and kind of all the wind went out of the sails there, too.
Yeah, they were kind of still in the game up until that point, and you're right. I feel like it was an oh shit moment, and that was kind of it. Yeah. Look, I think you're right. Like, there's no shame in Green Bay losing this game. Denver's a very good team. That stadium is a tough place to play. I don't think it was the cold that had anything to do with it. I think Denver's a good team, and it's a home field advantage.
It was like fucking 58.
But that's a good team, and they got a good home field advantage. Like, it is what it is. So I don't think there's any shame in losing that game. And I think they're still a good team, a very good team. In fact, quite a threat to win the Super Bowl this year. But it does make a difference because now, instead of, say, with Micah Parsons, you don't have to send extra guys. He can win battles one-on-one often and does. And now you're probably going to have to scheme pass rush, which means 5 guys, 6 guys in your pass rush. Whereas with Parsons, you can go 4 and drop everyone else in coverage. That's a big deal. There's a big difference between having 5 guys in coverage and having 7 guys in coverage. Ask any quarterback. Like, 7 guys in coverage is problematic. You got to be on. Now, if you got 7 guys in coverage and you're bringing heat, I mean, Denver does this all the time. So that's where it'll be, and I think Green Bay has a really good coaching staff, so they'll come up with some good schemes. But that's where you'll see a big change, and also late in games when Green Bay has a lead and you can just sick the dogs on a quarterback. And you got one less guy that does that.
Yeah, and maybe the best guy, one of the
best.
Yeah,
guys. I think that was one of the biggest things that they looked at with him was that at end of games he was kind of their closer.
Yep.
He would come in and just constantly put pressure. And if you got pressure in the quarterback, you can't push the ball downfield. It's hard to make comebacks. So it's a problem.
Rams 41, Lions 34. Detroit is on life support now, and the Rams have a good one tonight. We'll get into that in about 10 minutes. Detroit 7-0, jump out of the gate, hang around. Then they go down 2 scores all of a sudden in the second half. Like,
well, it was weird. It was 24-14 at halftime. Like they looked really 24-14 at the half.
Wow.
So they had a nice lead, but they just collapsed defensively and just couldn't keep up with that at that point. Rams are loaded offensively. So now Davante Adams is a little banged up. He's got a pulled hamstring. We'll see. He's not playing tonight. We'll see how things go. I suspect if the Rams win tonight against Seattle, you might not see Davante Adams until the playoffs.
Second week of January.
Yeah. So this is an important game in many ways that we'll get to later. But Detroit is going to look back on this season. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs or not make the playoffs. Some things have to go their way for them to get in, but they're going to look back on a handful of games, not this one in particular, but they're going to look back on a handful of games and say, we kind of messed up. We had opportunities this year and they messed up. So
what's missing? I know the secondary's beat up.
The defense is just rough.
The line's not the same either.
It's not, but look, they still scored 34 points. Like
on the road.
Like,
yeah.
They make it 41. What they make? They make it 41-34 with like 2 minutes and change left. No timeouts left, but 2 minutes and change left. And they just can't get a stop.
Yeah, I
know. They just can't get a stop.
Ball back, right?
Yeah, there's just not enough guys on defense, whether it's injuries or just thin on talent, whatever it may be. There's just problems on the defensive side of the ball. They're not as efficient as they were last year offensively, but they're not bad. They didn't drop off a cliff. They're not the Kansas City Chiefs offensively. So, that's a team that dropped off a cliff. So it's really more on the defensive side of the ball.
I wrote this one down, P, because I think we have to acknowledge the fact that 44-year-old Grandpa didn't die. And
he didn't die.
Game.
He threw more touchdowns than his opponent, which impressive enough. Look, I was actually like pretty impressed because what you also saw was leadership. And this is the kind of stuff that goes unremarked or unnoticed because you're not on the field with them. You're not hearing what he's saying. Dude, that defense played their balls off for the Colts.
Yeah,
like they knew they had to step up and they did. And when you see a guy just show up on a Tuesday and by Friday he's the leader of the team. I mean, just some people are different. Like his age, clearly it didn't matter. Like you can see young guys looking at him. They don't even know who he is. If you're a rookie on the Colts right now, you might have never even seen Phillip Rivers play. So I'm amazed at that side of it. And look, one of the things we said last week was Phillip Rivers was never Mr. Mobility. So I don't think the lack of mobility is the problem here. Like, can he throw it or can he not? He's lacking a little steam, but that pass that he threw for a touchdown was friggin' perfect.
So Seahawks 18, Colts 16, 6 field goals by the Seahawks. They're lucky to get out of there.
Absolutely.
I had this one dead wrong. I had Seattle laying like 7 touchdowns this game. But
in fact, to your point about dead wrong, Colts took the lead late in this game.
I know.
And it took a late drive by Sam Darnold, and good for him. So he didn't have the best game again. It took a late drive, and they got very conservative down once they got close, down in scoring range. They kind of pulled up at the 40-yard line. Like, man, the fact that these coaches are like happy to settle for 56-yarders nowadays.
I know.
It's just a different world, man. Like it's just like you really expect a guy to make that like 8 out of 10 times, which is fucking crazy.
Monday night, Pittsburgh 28, Miami 15. Pittsburgh one step closer to winning the North.
Yeah.
Miami, I think, eliminated now, and Tua Tagovailoa benched.
Yes.
He's the
Right
third
move, by the
string.
way.
He's the emergency quarterback. Is it the right move?
Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely. Tank. You want to tank the rest of the way. There's no point in winning games at this point.
But
You want to.
now he's gone, you think?
No, I don't think so.
Well, that's even worse to me.
I don't think they can.
Well,
I don't
that's
think they
agreed.
can.
The cap hit's too much.
Yeah, it'd be 100 million. Like literally 100 million. So
he's so weird to me. Sometimes
now I did hear. Well, I was just gonna say I did hear that they had the capability of spreading that out over 2 years, and I guess it would be 50 million over 2 years. But still, that's
not great. It's still not great.
Great, yeah. And on top of that, what's troublesome is that, and we can talk about this later with college football. It doesn't look like as many college quarterbacks are entering the draft this year. So what was thought ahead of time to be a pretty rich quarterback class is looking like one known name. So I don't know. I don't think you do. I don't know that you have to keep him as your starter. Look what Atlanta did, but we'll see. But this was Aaron Rodgers, one of his best games again. Definitely. He's just steady. Look, is he Aaron Rodgers from 10 years ago? Of course not. But I don't think the Steelers are that good offensively. Like DK Metcalf is nice, but they don't have a good offensive line. They don't have a good running game. That one tight end is just Washington is a monster, dude.
Yeah,
I laugh watching these guys trying to tackle him, man. I'm like, he's 100 pounds lighter than that guy at least, and he's trying to tackle him, go right down to the ankles. So, Pittsburgh's an interesting team, man. I don't know, they're going to get if they win a division, they're going to get a home game. I don't know. Maybe they can get a win. I mean, I don't think they're anything more than that because I honestly, I don't think their defense is that good. But
they got to get TJ Watt back. That's a weird situation.
That is a very weird situation. Collapsed lung or whatever the hell.
You know what's funny? What did you watch that game?
I did, yeah.
First half, Miami was hitting everyone, fucking tackling, and then second half, it was the complete opposite.
Well, we say this all the time. Sports psychology is such a big deal. Like the one interception that Tua threw, it looked like there was a parachute on the back of the ball. I actually, as soon as it left his hand, I go, "Oh no!"
I yelled at TV, "No!" And I'm watching the minicast, and they both did the same thing I did, and it was like,
"Oh no!" Right. Yeah, it just came out like a butterfly.
Oh.
I'm like, that's never good, man. And he makes so many mistakes that I agree with you, dude. That defense was playing fast and furious. Like they were hitting,
wrapping
didn't
up.
Care about the cold. Like it was
down
really
shorts. Yeah, like it was weird, man.
In fact, early in the game, Miami was the team moving the ball. They didn't score, but they were moving the ball a little bit. And Pittsburgh was the one struggling. And then Pittsburgh got one drive. Then you get the interception, and it was like all downhill from there. It just sucked. From there. And yeah, do I think he plays again for Miami? I don't know. That's a discussion for another day, but it's a tough one to eat that salary, man. That's a lot.
You have anything else?
Nope. Please
give me your top five.
Top five. I'll start with number 5. I still have the Packers in there. The Micah Parsons thing is problematic, but I think they're still pretty good offensively. I think they still got a pretty good offensive line. And I think overall they still have a pretty good defense. So I still keep them in there. I got the Bills at number 4. They are who they are, man. I mean, that defense is not great. What's the defensive tackle? He's coming back. Shit, I'm drawing a blank. Ed Oliver's coming back soon. I don't know if it's this week or next week, but he'll be back soon. That should help. There's a linebacker coming back. That should help. It can't make things worse on the defensive side. And at least in the second half of that game, they did look a little better. So just hard to count out the Bills. They always show up last quarter of the season. So I got Denver at number 3. I'm sorry. Like a lot of people have been doubting this team for so long, and I just haven't. Like winning is winning, and how they win to me matters. Fourth quarter, stepping up. Fourth quarter, Bo Nix. Fourth quarter defense. Fourth quarter getting turnovers. Like I just think that stuff is real, and I think that matters. And they're one of the best defensive teams in the league, so they're kind of always gonna be in games. And now Bo Nix is making more plays and more plays week in and week out. So I just think they're a really good team. And then I had the Seahawks at 2 and the Rams at number 1. They're kind of both right there for me. Maybe after tonight's game, I'll flip flop that, or who knows, how that's going to go. So, but that's how I got it.
At 5, I have New England. I think they showed that they can play with the big boys, even though they didn't close the game out. They really jumped out to a big lead. Drake May's fantastic. Now, two-headed monster at running game. That's going to be huge in the playoffs.
It just said to me that maybe they're not quite ready for the prime time playoff run, playoff football, which, look, I think we would all agree they seem way ahead of schedule from what we expect in the beginning of the season. We were thinking maybe they'll be competitive. Like, they're a good team. I just don't know that they're ready for that level this time of year.
I hear you. 4, I got Seattle. I think offense hasn't looked great the last couple of weeks.
That's fair. That's fair.
Big one tonight at home. They already lost to the Rams. Let's see if they can get nut up and get this win back and even things up there. 3, I got the Bills. I just think they don't go away to me. I think Allen's too good. I can't put them out. I got to put them in the top 5. 3 might be a little high, but the way they came back and the way the rest of your schedule looks, dude, they're cooking with gas. 2, I got my Broncos, dude. That's a great win with the Packers. 12-2, 10 in a row. You're kind of hard to. It's self-explanatory to me.
Absolutely.
And number 1, I got the Rams. 2 great running backs at this point. Stafford's playing his balls off. They're gonna miss. Puka Nacua is getting weird. He's starting to talk a little too much off the field now. Which is
I was just gonna say that.
They got tight ends coming out of their ass. The guys you don't even know to score touchdowns for them.
Yeah,
and their defense does a good job. Like you said, tonight's a good one. So I have honorable mention: the Jaguars, the Texans, the Niners, and the Bears.
Yeah, I'm so reluctant with the Jags, but it's hard to deny they're and we didn't talk about that game at all, but
Why would we?
Trevor Lawrence right now, he's got as many more touchdown passes than anybody in the NFL over the last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And he's not turning the ball over. And what is maybe most exciting about him, because I think we all looked at him coming out of college and like, this guy's like can't miss, like can't miss. And what I like to see most is that he is now becoming way more decisive. We talk about this all the time. Like, you can't be like indecisive. There's just not enough time to be indecisive. And he just looks like he makes the decision and lets it rip. And boy, when he does that, he throws a pretty ball. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's wildly athletic. Like, if you really think about it, if you just look at like body types and physical ability, it's like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Trevor Lawrence are kind of all in the same boat. Like, they're all big, they all have cannons, and they're all athletic. And so when Trevor's playing the way he's playing right now, he's very, very good. He's very, very good.
Him and Captain Duval working great together there, man.
Gotta give Colin a lot of credit, man. No one's been able to get this right with Trevor Lawrence, and at least over the last 5 weeks, he has, and then some.
Can I have your honorable mention, please?
I have, in no particular order, the Chicago Bears. They're just impressive, dude. I got to give it to them, and they have a really good coach. And Caleb Williams just shows up in fourth quarter also. And they run the ball very, very well, especially this time of year. That's huge. Make no mistake, it's a big deal this time. New England also, and then I got the Eagles in there, man. I got the Eagles in there.
Wow, no Houston and no Niners. Okay.
No, when I thought about it, I can't put those teams in Jacksonville. Also, I just don't feel like I can put them.
Yeah, and I don't have Green Bay in mind either, which is weird too. But yeah, that scares me though, man. The way they ended that game with him going out,
it's deflating. It's very deflating.
Yep. All right, my friend. I can't believe it. Week 16 tonight. We've teased it 3 or 4 times. The Rams at the Seahawks. No Devontae Adams. It's supposed to be windy as shit there tonight. I'm hearing like 35, 40-mile-an-hour winds, which is going to be interesting, especially for a team that just kicked 6 field goals to win a game in that stadium. Listen, this is what you want. Thursday games for years have been shit. This is fantastic. Week before Christmas. Let's kick off a great week here, my friend. What are you thinking in this game, bro?
I may have something to say about this later
on. My goodness, the ball's on this young man.
We usually don't use the Thursday night games in our picks, but I can't help myself. But I will point out.
That's your rule, by the way, too. You're breaking your own rule.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. For our live audience, they get to embrace it. 2 things about this game to keep an eye on.
You can hold on your thoughts if you want for the bets. If you want to do that, you can.
No, I'll just point out 2 things to pay attention to. Number 1, I saw not an interview, but like a press conference with Matthew Stafford. And they were asking him, like, what's the hardest part about this game? And he says, the short week. He's like, I'm 37. I'm old. And it's just hard at this point in the season to play on Sunday and get myself back together for a game on Thursday.
I can't even imagine.
So it's not just a short week. Now, I tend to like veteran quarterbacks on the Thursday night games because they don't need as much practice, figuring things out, film work as like younger guys do. But he brought this to my attention, so I'm bringing it to you. It's hard physically to get your shit straight by Thursday. That's all. On the other side of it is this 3 tight end running game, frankly, and passing game that the Rams have been doing has been wildly effective, like wildly effective. And it's so interesting to me because when we think of the most innovative coaches, especially offensive coaches in the league or in college football, we think of like wide open, throw the crap out of the ball, like player, spread the field, everything like that. And here's a guy who has done that now he's doing the opposite. He's compressing everything, making it more physical. And this is the essence of coaching. You take what you have and you make the most out of what you have. He sees that he has 3 physical, athletic tight ends and a good running game and good linemen, and he's using it. So they're running the shit out of the ball in that formation with 3 tight ends, and then they're using play action and being super effective with that. It's very creative, even though it's the opposite of what everybody's doing, spreading it out, airing it out. It's just the opposite, but maybe that's why it's been so effective.
Peter, I don't know if you know this or not, but there are Saturday football games, NFL and college.
2 of them. Yep.
One of them being the Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. Phenomenal first game about 2 weeks ago, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Chicago has a chance to tie it. Caleb's got first and goal. There's something in goal and throws a pick in the end zone. The Green Bay to seal it. Chicago now getting a home game, hopefully get revenge. Green Bay with their best player now on the shelf. Chicago confidence level at an all-time high, probably the highest it's been in 15 years, you would say.
I would say decades.
Defense, they force a lot of turnovers, dude. And Love doing the Bronco game last week on the road. 2 turnovers in the second half.
It's not a particularly good defense, but yes, they get
opportunistic, as they say.
Opportunistic. What a great word. Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, that's a hell of a thing to rely on because if you're not getting turnovers, then you're probably giving up scores. And correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think they got too many, if any, turnovers against the Packers last time. The last game they played.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Yeah. So and they didn't win the game. So, that's a problem. This is, to me, I know this might sound odd, but I think this is a bigger game for the Packers because the Packers are kind of like a now team. And I would consider the Bears are ahead of schedule. So even if the Bears lose this game, I think they're still a great season, and they still have another week to sneak into the playoffs and whatever. If the Packers lose this game, with the Micah Parsons injury, it's again, man, we keep coming. I guess this is the thing of the day, is just like sports psychology. As a team, as an organization, you have to be like, shit, man, we're in trouble. Like if Chicago loses this game, I don't think they're suddenly like, shit, man, we're in trouble. It's more like we still have to grow. We still have improvements to make. This is a growing team. Green Bay is a now team. That's why you go get a Micah Parsons, because you think you could win a championship now, not 3 years from now. And if you lose this game and you get into an oh shit mentality, that's a problem. So I think this is I know it might sound odd, but I think it's a bigger game for Green Bay.
I'm with you, bud. The first of 2 games in 3 weeks, the NFC putrid South, the Buccaneers at the Panthers. Both teams lost disgusting games last week. Buccaneers blew a 2-touchdown lead in the fourth quarter, throwing the ball and down the stretch. The Panthers can't close the game at the Saints, who are the weirdest team I've seen in years, honestly. They one drive, the guy goes 90 yards for a touchdown, and then they go 3 and out 4 times in a row. It's really bizarre. I have no idea, dude. This game, the game in 2 weeks, I have no idea. Both teams can win both games and they can split. I have no idea.
Yeah. Look,
I think one thing. Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
I think Todd Bowles is coaching for his job here too.
Well, it's funny you said that because we're going to be doing a segment in a little while of coaches that we think might be replaced. and I'm pretty sure he got an extension at the end of last year.
I think you're right.
But I did not have him on my list, so I'm not giving anything away here. But
Me neither. That's why I mentioned it now.
Thought about it though. I'm like, collapses are a funny thing, dude. At one point this year, Baker Mayfield was the leader in the clubhouse for MVP, and
lost
great coach. They're
lost his whole team.
I feel like they were 6-2 or something like that. Like collapses are a funny thing. That's what I'm getting at. Like if Tampa loses this game, yeah, then there could be calls for his head. There's no doubt about it. And right now, the way they're playing, there's no reason to say like, oh, they're definitely going to win this game. Carolina has won multiple games that are like this one, so they're the ultimate Jekyll and Hyde team to go into Green Bay and win, go into the Rams and win, but come home and lose to.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's just weird. Yeah. So good luck. Yeah, this is by the way not one of the games that I picked because I can't trust either of these teams.
No way, dude. Pittsburgh at Detroit.
Boy, I tell you, I'd be shocked if Detroit doesn't win this game. But they just defensively, it's just such a struggle, man. It's just such a struggle. Like, I don't care who you are. If you can't get stops, it means you don't have the ball.
And Pittsburgh ran the ball pretty good last week. And
Better, for sure.
And I think that's a problem for the Lions here.
It absolutely is. And if Aaron Rodgers, who's familiar with playing at that stadium, if he's dealing like he's been the last few weeks, I mean,
get him out of the cold. Get an old man out of the cold inside now too, dude. I think
absolutely. Yeah. So very dangerous game for Detroit. Very dangerous game. What would help a lot is if they got out to an early lead because Pittsburgh does not have the kind of team to come from behind. Like if they're down 2 touchdowns, I just don't see that happening. So if they can get out to a 17-7 lead, 17-3, 21-7, something like that in the first half, and I think they'll be fine. But if this is like a 7-3 game, late second quarter, Steelers are winning, that's a problem. That's a problem, man. It's a real problem for Detroit.
Well, you said it before. I think we're going to find out a lot about this team. Jacksonville at Denver.
Yeah, because look, these two teams have had very different schedules. Denver has had a tough schedule. They play in a tougher division. Jacksonville they got some nice wins on their schedule. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not the same quality overall. Be a great test for Trevor Lawrence going into Denver. I don't know what kind of weather it looks like, but it's just a tough place to play against an elite defense, top 5, top 10 defense, no doubt. They're going to bring pressure. They got guys that can cover. So, we shall see. I'll tell you what, I'd be shocked if I'd be surprised. Shocked is a little strong. I'd be surprised if Jacksonville wins. But I will say if they win, then we need to just stop it's Jacksonville. At some point, you have to stop looking at the laundry. At some point. So I think this is a game that if Jacksonville, I don't think they're going to win. But if they were to win, because the game still matters to Denver. So if Jacksonville pulls this off, do you know the spread in this game? Like
2.5, dude. Weird.
It's awfully close, right? Awfully low.
Weird. Yeah.
But Denver has a way of like keeping games closer than most of us think they should be. So yeah. I can't imagine that Jacksonville wins. But if they do, then we just have to maybe they creep into the top 5.
Sunday night, I think. New England at Baltimore.
Fascinating game. It's what's so interesting to me is that Baltimore's favored by 2 in this game. They've been shit all year. New England has been awesome all year. New England loses 1 game to the Bills.
Baltimore wins 1 game,
and now they're shit. Like I don't know. I don't think they were one of my picks. But wait, let me just. No, they're not. But maybe they should be. Because that's just crazy to me that they're underdogs against Baltimore, who hasn't beaten a good team all year. So, but here's what I will say: Baltimore is still fighting for their playoff life, as thin and slim as that might be, and they're used to doing that late in the season. And I'll just come back to the idea, even for the last few weeks, I've been saying this about New England: they're not used to Vrabel is, but these players are not used to being. This is very much crunch time. It's not quite playoffs, but it's kind of like the playoffs. It's as close to the playoffs feel as you're going to get without being in playoffs. Baltimore is used to being in the playoffs, and they're going to fight their balls off. So if New England were to lose this game, that's when you start to look and you say, yeah. A lot of the season they had the easiest schedule in the NFL this year, and maybe it was just, we got excited they beat Tampa, but Tampa hasn't been that great the last few weeks either. So, if New England loses this game, I think a lot of it just has to do with late season, not ready for this type of play yet.
Fair. And Monday night, the old man's at it again. He's getting the nod again. Now he's playing a home game. The Niners come to town to play the Colts.
One thing I will say positive here, San Francisco does not have the same kind of defense that playing at Seattle is like nothing like that. They don't.
No, but Salah's doing a decent job piecing that thing together.
Salah is doing a masterful job.
Yeah.
But you got to think, they don't have pass rushers. They don't have great linebackers right now. Yeah. It's really like a lot of duct tape keeping the shit together. And Salah deserves a lot of credit, and he's getting a lot of credit, and deservedly so. But it's not because they got special players. You look at Seattle, and you're like, Jesus Christ, there's just speed and athleticism and youth all over the place. You have some youth with the Niners, but it's because they're filling in for starters. So I only say that to say I wouldn't be surprised if Philip Rivers has an even better game this week. Wouldn't shock me if he has a worse game because he's old, but it wouldn't surprise me if he had a more yards, maybe another touchdown pass, more yards. And if Indianapolis can run the ball at all, I don't know. The way that defense played last week, very inspired. What if they come out inspired again today, this weekend? I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah. I'll give you fun. It's weird. It's a little weird.
It's a little weird, for sure. For sure.
You have everything else, my friend?
No, sir.
All right. So I asked you to give me 5 teams, coaches that could be moving on. We left the Giants and Titans out, obviously, because they already have moved on. So there will be new coaches there. And I tell you, both teams, my goodness gracious. So
I came up with 4. I couldn't come up with 5.
I got 5. So I'll start since I got one more ahead of you.
Okay.
At 5, I wrote down the Dolphins with Mike McDaniel because I think over the last month, they were starting to maybe turn the page a little bit here. And then Tua goes out and plays like dog shit. And the Miami thing, playing in the cold weather, is still a problem. Has been since Marino played there, to be honest.
And a new GM.
New GM is also key there as well. So I got them. I'm not sure, especially if Tua stays, because we've mentioned they're like a package deal maybe. But so I got them right at 5 for me.
You want me to give you one of mine?
Sure.
We'll go 1-1. We'll go 1-1. This is a name that not a lot of people are talking about, but I really do think he's probably on the firing squad because they seem directionless, and that's Gannon for the Cardinals. I could see him being replaced. This is his 3rd year there?
I think it's his 4th year there.
Okay. Did they look any different?
No, they don't.
Whether it's 3rd or 4th,
and
they don't look any different.
On purpose. It's weird, dude.
Yeah, they just don't look any different. And I just think, I think sometimes, look, one of the things, and I don't know what any of these teams are going to do. I think it's hard to move on from a bad decision because nobody wants to admit it was not the best decision. And I don't know, maybe this dude can eventually be a good head coach. I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not in a building. I don't know what it looks like. But there's just been no improvement at all. And as a GM or an ownership team or whatever, I look and I say, why are we sticking with something that there's been no change in years? It's time to move on. Just say, hey, we fucked up. It didn't work out. And we just move on. Yep. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Number 4 for me, I have the Falcons and Morris. What the hell's his first name? Raheem Morris?
Yep. I have him as well.
They look like I know they won Thursday night, but that was more Tampa Bay to give the game away than what they do.
Agreed.
They don't use Bijan Robinson right. Kyle Pitts he played the best game since Shannon Sharp at tight end in 30-something years the other day. But the quarterback position's a mess, let's be honest, and that's where it starts and finishes. They can't get the defense right. He looks lifeless when he coaches that team, and the owner gets a little tricky. He's quick on the trigger with firing coaches as well. So I think he might be in trouble there, brother.
Yeah, one of the things that you talked about is the quarterback situation. 2 years ago, when Raheem Morris took this job, it looked like they had two quarterbacks, and now it looks like they don't have any.
Yeah.
Now, I am still a believer in Michael Penix. I'm just not one to give up on somebody that shows a lot of signs just because they make a lot of mistakes. They're freaking rookies in the NFL. Is hard.
Well, also the injury history now is getting a little long.
It's a problem, but I'm just saying if you're just gonna, I'm just going to go off of his play.
I mean, Gano's going to kill you. He's going to kill you for this.
I still like Michael Penix. But again, 2 years. You've been a coach there for 2 years, and I'm not a big fan of firing guys after only 2 years. But I look and I say, are you any better? Have you gotten any better?
Is that your third? Is that your third one, Falcons?
No, that was the second one. I'm with you on that one.
Okay.
So there's just been no improvement.
For me, I got Gannon for my third. I'm with you 100%. It just they haven't gotten any better. It's the same goddamn. But I feel like even with Kingsbury at the end to Gannon, it's the same. They play well at home sometimes, and then they look uninspired.
Yeah. And the other thing is with him, he's a defensive guy. What do we always say? You got to get your side of the ball right. And they're not a good defensive team.
And where are they even going now too? Because Murray's going to be gone.
Yeah,
they're going to draft another quarterback again. The fourth quarterback.
But again, we don't know if there is even going to be that kind of depth in this year's draft.
I know.
It's a problem. That's a problem for a number of teams, the Jets included in that. There's a number of teams, Miami, if you want to bring them up, like same kind of situation. This one might shock you. I think maybe the next two of mine might shock you, but my next one is going to be Stefanski with the Browns. I think there's a chance that he might be on the way out, and I'm not so convinced that he's I don't want to say trying to get fired, but I don't know that he's trying to keep his job. There's something to be said of like, I want to get the hell out of here. And I think he recognizes that he's probably a highly coveted coach, that a lot of teams would be more than happy to take him on. Like if he were to be fired, I think there's a chance that here's what I could see happening. I can see, like, say if you're Atlanta or even Arizona, but I don't know if Arizona is a good example of that.
I was just going to say, come on down.
I'm trying to think of another team that I don't have on the list, but like just say Arizona.
Giants?
No. Just hear me out.
Oh, God.
You weren't going to fire your coach. Like, all right, we'll give Gannon one more year. Stefanski's available. You're fired. Like, I could just see if he gets fired, I could see other guys getting fired afterwards because teams are like, I want that guy. You know what I mean? So I think he knows that. And I think I think he wouldn't be unhappy with being cut loose.
Peter, you're going to be shocked by this one. I have Kevin Stefanski.
There you go.
Of the Cleveland Browns. I think he doesn't have many options. I don't think he's trying to get fired, but like he doesn't have Shador and the little guy Dylan Gabriel. They look just shit. They just look. Yeah. I know Shador looks a little better at times. You can throw the ball, you can move a little bit and throw the ball downfield.
He's not a good quarterback.
He's not good.
He'll never be more than top 20.
Your best players, your rookie tight end, Harold Fannin Jr., Jerry Jeudy stinks. Quinshon Judkins isn't bad. He's shown some signs of life, but dude, the defense, Myles Garrett's phenomenal. But dude, like,
phenomenal.
He's gonna die there. Like, it's sad. And the fact that he took the
that's on him, by the way.
I know the money talks. I get it. The money talks, but dude, you're never gonna. Don't give me bullshit about winning. You're never gonna win there. So I'm kind of with you. I think a change of pace, and I don't know who would even want that job. Somebody will take it, a coordinator with their first head coaching job, but it's Groundhog's Day with the Browns. It's the same shit over and over again, dude.
My fourth one and my last one is Zach Taylor with the Bengals.
Wow.
I know, but I don't know. Look,
I don't think you're wrong either on that.
Again, I don't know. I'm not even saying he's a bad coach, and I'll say the same thing with Stefanski too. I think Stefanski's a good coach. I think Zach Taylor's a good coach. As with all coaches, I think sometimes there just comes a time when your time is up and it's time to move on. I mean, Bill Walsh said this while he was with San Francisco. He wasn't done. Like, he wasn't done coaching, and he was still successful with the Niners. But his thing was sometimes it's just time. It's just time. And I think with Zach Taylor, I don't know. Again, I don't know how much he has to do with the construction of the team, but the reality is what has he done? He had one nice run to get to the Super Bowl and lose, and everything else has kind of been bad. Now, you could say, well, his quarterback gets hurt a lot, and I get that, but it's all part of it, isn't it?
100%.
You could say the same thing about Raheem Morris. His quarterback's been hurt. So, you
say the same thing about Gannon, but it's
shit. Look at what we did. Look at what New England did to Mayo last year. You got a rookie quarterback. You got an all young team. You got no talent. They fired him. So it's easy to say, like, well, you're lacking this, you're lacking that. But I think probably it's just time. Again, I'm not saying I would fire him or I would fire Stefanski. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if those guys go.
Peter, I have the Bengals. No, I don't. I have the Vegas Raiders and Pete Carroll. I think it's time. I think it's time to ride into the sunset, Pete. Go play some golf, chew your gum, watch TV, retire. It's not pretty, dude.
You think they're gonna pull the trigger after one season?
They might.
Like, here's why I asked that. Do you hire him
because the Raiders,
you think,
dude?
I know his dad was a little more impulsive than he is, but
look at the last couple of years.
What's that?
Look at the last couple of years.
Gruden. I get it. Gruden was fired because of emails and stuff like that.
The linebacker from the Giants,
Antonio Pierce.
Sabachi, whatever his name was, the guy that they all wanted to guy. Yeah, but they won't want him to stay. But no. Yeah. Then fucking McDaniels, Josh. Then, dude, it's sloppy.
I'm just trying to look at this logically and say, did you hire him for to just say, like, this year we got to be better? As you look at your division, it's like, this year we're going to compete.
But dude, they're
bad. Yeah, they're bad.
Like, that was a bad decision. They drafted a running back 4th overall, whatever it was. Terrible decision.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers is a beast. Max Crosby's a beast. Those two guys on a 22-man fucking.
It's pretty thin. Bad. It's pretty thin. You're not wrong.
And your division's tough as shit.
Yeah.
See you, Pete. One question for you. Now, neither one of us have it on our list. Is Aaron Glenn coming back?
Oh, it's so funny. Like, I feel like the Jets ownership listens. What I mean listens, I don't mean they do what they say. I think they hear the news and they hear people saying that he's an impulsive owner and they're bad ownership and this and that. The funny thing is, I wouldn't have fired Robert Saleh. And what do we always talk about with these jobs? Like, have someone in mind or have someone likely ready to go if you're gonna fire your coach. And like we talked about that with Penn State. Like, if you're gonna fire somebody, you better have someone pretty good lined up so that you're not stuck. Now they lucked into somebody, but I don't think Aaron Glenn is head coach material yet. And I didn't see a team. I don't know what the word is. It was impressive or improving, or I see no signs. So I don't see it. I wasn't high on the hire in the first place, but I don't know who you're bringing in if you do. Were you bringing in Mike McCarthy, who we just should have done 4 years ago?
It's kind of like the same shit. Yeah, I know.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't have an answer for you. I don't know.
Peter, we are one sleep away from the college football playoff opening game. The Alabama Crimson Tide at the Oklahoma Sooners. A lot is on the line here, obviously for winning purposes and also maybe coaching purposes. Yeah. As Alabama might get a little sour with Kalen DeBoer, and Michigan might be waiting with open arms, is what I'm hearing out of Ann Arbor.
I know. I go right back to what I just said, and I'm like, if you're Alabama, who would you put in his place?
Lane Kiffin.
Oh, that'll work. They would literally burn Lane Kiffin at the stake if he did something like that. Oh, my God. This game itself is very interesting to me.
Go ahead, Bob.
It's funny because, like, Oklahoma kind of has DeBoer's number here. He'd beaten him twice in 2 years. Shockingly last season, less shocking this season, although it was a surprise, especially Alabama had been playing pretty well, but sometimes matchups just don't work in your favor, man. So it's hard for me to think that Oklahoma can go into Alabama and beat them, but they're going to lose at home. That place is going to be going bananas Because what else is there in
Dude,
Oklahoma?
There's probably people lined up right now outside
Right
the
now,
stadium.
absolutely 100%. And this is kind of like what people from Oklahoma, like football fans from Oklahoma, look at this as their birthright. Like, we're Oklahoma, one of the biggest, most traditional programs in history. This is where we belong. I know Alabama fans think exactly the same thing, but I'm just saying this game is in Oklahoma. It's not at Alabama. That place is going to be rocking big time. And I think it's going to play a factor in this game.
John Mateer, a month to get his hand right. He was starting to come along the last 2-3 weeks of the year.
They struggled on offense, though, man. They really
won games. They
did win games. There's no doubt about it.
Fantastic.
So this is my point. Like, I have a hard time going against Oklahoma here. I just really do. They just seem to have a plan that works against Alabama. Like, I love this thing, like, where we say it's hard to beat the same team twice in a year. No, I don't think so. And when we look at the NFL, it's hard to beat the same team 3 times in a year. No, actually, statistically, about 70% of the time, that team wins the third game. So actually, it's more likely that you win again because you're better. So it's why you won the first time. So it's not one of the games that I picked, but it's what I will say, man. It is whoever did the scheduling, brilliant to put this as the first one to really suck people in. It's a standalone on Friday. Suck them all in, and that'll be fun as hell.
Saturday noon, Miami goes to College Station and plays the Texas A&M Aggies.
This is a huge game historically for Miami because I can honestly see if they were to lose this game, God forbid they lost this game by like double digits, and then the media whores just come out talking about how Miami never should have been here in the first place and Notre Dame is a better program and all that shit, and Cristobal is a bad coach, which both you and I think at least he's not great. Questionable decisions, poor job in some important spots. I know this is probably hyperbolic, so take it for a grain of salt. But if they lose this game by double digits, I can see things falling apart very quickly. Because then it becomes like, why would you go to Miami? Why not just go to Texas A&M? Why not go to the big money schools? Yeah. I don't know that Miami is one of the bigger money schools. So I think this is a huge game. Whereas Texas A&M, they're going to still pour money in. They're going to still, like, if they lost this game, like, they're still going to pour money. They're still, Elko's only in first or second year, whatever it is. Like, they're going to be fine, and they'll keep moving forward because there's just a gobs of money to spend. So they're going to do what they do. Miami loses this game by double digits, and they got bigger problems, man.
This is one of my picks, so I'll wait to give you my analysis in a little while. Another rematch, which I don't love these rematches either in these fucking playoff games. Tulane at Ole Miss.
Ole Miss beat them earlier in the year?
Yes, by a lot. And Lane Kiffin now at Baton Rouge. New head coach, not interim, new head coach. Pete Golding takes over for the Rebels.
I hate that hire, by the way.
I know you do. Yeah, I know you hate it more and more as the week goes by. And I'm kind of with it now. I think a little bit at this point.
You've become one of the stronger programs in the country. Why not take a breath, take a minute, and go hire like the offensive coordinator for Ohio State or something like that? I know you're not going to get like fucking Nick Saban, but like, can you take a minute? I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think they were so pissed off with the whole thing. I think they kind of.
Yeah, well, that's not good leadership.
Well, speaking from experience, when Jim Harbaugh left Michigan, they kind of panicked to listen to the kids and how that worked out.
Smart. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, don't panic. I'll give Penn State that much. They didn't panic. Maybe they should have a little more than they did, but they didn't.
So Tulane's head coach, obviously, Summerall took the Florida job, so he's back and forth, but not as far from Gainesville from New Orleans as one game I'm going to talk about next. I like Ole Miss in this game just because they have a lot of great players. The cover is a large. 17?
Something like that.
Something like that.
There's one question to ask in this game, and that is:
how motivated are they?
Is Mississippi motivated to stick it up Lane Kiffin's ass and say, "Screw you, we didn't need you," or are they bummed that he left?
No, I'm with you.
And are they in a tank? And I don't have an answer for that one, to be honest with you, and that's why I stayed away from this one because I just don't know. I'd like to think that a team who I personally think has a chance of winning a national championship, and I really do believe that with Ole Miss. I said this all year. The one difference this year compared to other years is they're actually pretty good on defense this year. So And that's what wins you championship. That's what keeps you in games. And if you make athletic plays late, you can win games. So I actually do think they're, while on the periphery, have a chance at winning a national championship. I would like to think that if you were in that position, you'd be motivated. But these are kids, man. They're young, and I just don't know how they show up. And I think you'll know pretty early, but I don't know right now.
James Madison at Oregon, the nightcap Saturday night. James Madison coach also took a job, but he took the UCLA job. So
Which is a bit of a surprise to me.
From Virginia to Los Angeles, back
coast
and
to
forth.
coast.
That's a lot going on. You're going to play one of the best teams in the country and one of the greatest atmospheres in the country. I don't know how close this game is going to be, and if I'm teasing this now, that's one of my picks.
It's one of mine too.
I don't know, and I don't know much about James Madison. I know
they're a good team.
They have a good program.
They're a very good football team. Like I said, they were nose to nose and pecker to pecker Louisville earlier, but that was like second game of the season.
Well, did you buy me dinner first?
So, and then the rest of the season, they kind of blew everybody out. Like they mostly won big. They're a good football team, but dude, you're playing Oregon. You're playing Oregon at Oregon. That place is insane. Lanning has a reputation of sending messages, and that's the only question I have. Will he have mercy, or will he send a message to the CFP committee and say, don't do this anymore. Don't do this.
Let's listen to Scott and Pete about getting their own goddamn tournament going.
Yeah, I think that's what. I don't know what Dan Lanning's going to say, because I don't know if you win this game 56-3. Are you the big bad bully? Maybe for a week, but then you're playing a real team next week and you'll get over it. I don't know. I just don't know how James Madison slows them down. And Oregon plays good defense too. So I don't know how they stay competitive.
Peter, you had a segment you want to do thumbs up and thumbs down. Please explain.
So I wanted to do like 3 thumbs up and 3 thumbs down, like 3 things that you look and you're like, this was a good thing about the college football season. And then 3 things that would be the thumbs down, like 3 things that I didn't like about the college football. They're disappointing. Could be players, coaches, teams, leagues, rules, whatever. I'll start with one of my ups.
Ooh.
My first up was the Indiana Hoosiers. And you can include Cignetti on that. I think what people don't understand, or what people miss on this, is that this has basically happened over the course of 2 years. This is not a 10-year rebuild. This has been 2 years. To make it to the playoffs last year and then to be undefeated in a number 1 overall team in the country this year, it is mind-boggling, in my opinion. And it is the most obvious evidence of how things have changed in the NIL and portal era, because between the money that they spent, the recruiting, his story itself, he was an assistant and said, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be a head coach. And he took like a massive demotion going to a small school and then worked his way up as a head coach and made it friggin' happen. He's a unique dude. He's done a really unique job. And I just think it's one of the great stories, maybe in the last 25 years in college football.
So I have the same thing, but I also added Mendoza into that as well, the Heisman Trophy.
Absolutely part of it.
Yeah, so I have the Indiana, Cignetti, Mendoza. Indiana was the laughingstock of college football. I believe they have the most losses in the history of college football. And what Cignetti's done, Mendoza, as weird as he is in the interviews, incredible job.
And we talked about this before the Ohio State game, and especially after the Ohio State game. It's the damn defense is what's really impressive.
Yep.
Like, of course, the offense and Mendoza and all that, but their defense is so good. They gave up 10 points to Ohio State. Like, what? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. My first down, Florida State Seminoles, dude.
Oh, my goodness.
What an utter disappointment. You know, I really thought they kind of had it together this year. I was a little excited in the beginning of the season to go and beat Alabama and look impressive. One of the first things that I said was that they just look fast like they used to look. And they did for the first few weeks. And then everything turned to where it was again last year. And it's just a massive disappointment. And they've made bad decisions in the past, and they're still paying for it, which is the only reason, in my opinion, it's the only reason that Mike Norvell still has a job, which is shocking enough that he still has a job with the last 2 seasons that we've seen. It's just bad. It's very disappointing to see. It's a storied program. Bobby Bowden just made this one of the elite. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think they went 10 straight years with being in the top three. Top three.
Wow.
Insane to where they are now. It's just wildly disappointing.
Yeah.
Total thumbs down.
My one thumbs down is the preseason Heisman favorites.
Oh, good one.
Arch, Nussmeier, Lagway, Sellers, Klubnik, Aller.
Oh my God.
All to what you were saying before about quarterbacks in the draft, because we're going to have a high quarterback class.
Oh my God.
I don't think so, sir.
Incredible. What a great call. I love
Thank
a
you.
lot, dude.
Thank you. That's bananas.
My next thumb is the college football playoffs. I think the one thing that we didn't like when it was 2 teams BCS and then when it expanded a little to 4 teams is that there was always like 1 or 2 teams or a couple teams that we looked and we said, I know they had some rough losses, but to me, they look at this time of year, at the end of the year, they look like they could win a national championship. We've seen that a couple times. The TCU got left out one year. Florida State got left out the one year when the quarterback got hurt. There's been teams, it seems like every year there's like 1, 2, 3 teams that are on the outside of the 4 or the outside of the 2. This takes care of that. Like whoever's not in there right now, I know Notre Dame, and I just don't think they're national title teams anyway. Vanderbilt, I just don't think you're a national champion. I don't know. You have an argument to be in the tournament. I don't know that you have an argument that you could win a national championship. I'm sorry. I just don't see it, or else you wouldn't have lost to Miami and Texas A&M. You know, or Vanderbilt, you wouldn't have lost to, I don't know, Alabama and whoever else they lost to.
Texas, I think.
Yeah. So like we've eliminated the idea of like, oh, maybe this team could have won it, but they weren't invited. That's over, and I think that's a good thing.
My second thumbs up, believe it or not, as much fun as we have with him is Lane Kiffin.
Oh,
He was the bell on the ball this year. Could have went anywhere he wanted for as much money as he wanted. It could have went to the NFL maybe if you wanted, like just gobs and gobs of cash. You wanted in both spots. College football playoff team for Ole Miss is a great thing, and then to go to LSU, one of the greatest jobs in sports in college football. Hats off to Lane. Let's see what he does there now with all the pressure.
He's always somebody to talk about, right? He's a story, and we're in the story business here. My second thumbs down is the college football playoffs. Now, yes, it was one of my thumbs up, but it's one of my thumbs down because they still don't get it right. They still don't get it right. I think you and I, not that anybody's listening, but they should, you and I have pointed out 2 things that would fix this problem. Go to some kind of PowerPoint system where you earn points based on who you play and how their record is and all that kind of stuff to take the subjectivity out of it, right? And then the second thing being have a second championship for the group of 5 schools. I think they would love it. I think fans would enjoy it. I think it would actually bring more money to them so that they can bring in better players, all that kind of stuff. It's just still a mess. Like we should have, whether it's Notre Dame, Texas, Vanderbilt, I don't think anybody would argue that the 2 teams that are in there, James Madison and Tulane, have a better chance than those teams would have. Like, could you imagine if we had Notre Dame at Oregon and Texas at Mississippi right now, or vice versa, switch it up any way you like. Like, that'd be kind of fun. That'd be interesting. Those would be good games. Instead, we're stuck with 2 extreme double-digit underdogs.
Second thumbs down for me is the preseason top 25. We've mentioned this before. Stop with the preseason rankings. 10 out of the 25 have finished unranked, including 3 of the top 6 in Penn State, Clemson, and LSU. Stop.
I'm going to take it a little further than that. I looked at this today. Let's look at Ohio State. 2 teams that Ohio State played that we would consider like good teams, playoff teams. They scored 14 and 10. Now, they played Michigan, who has a pretty good defense. That game got away from them after a while. It was close for a while, but got away from the 24. But I just look and I say, they were number 1 all season because they started at number 1. In my opinion, like it's because they started number 1, so they stayed at number 1.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember after they beat Texas, I said, I don't think either one of these teams is great. And I still stand by that. I think Ohio State's good, and I think they have a good defense. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think they're great on offense, and I don't think they're going to win a national championship because of it. So I'm with you on that. It's just nonsense. And it just creates artificial barriers for teams to jump. Why did Indiana have to jump Ohio State at all?
Right.
Like, why did Miami have to jump Notre Dame? What? It's just, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's unimportant to have the rankings. So it should just be a point system. And we can just say, here's the points. And we can just put them in ranked order, you know? And in the first week of the season, we're going to have 60 teams or 20 teams with elite point totals because you haven't played anybody yet.
Yep.
You know, so take that away from it. And I'm with you on that one. My last thumbs up is the NIL for quarterbacks. And here's why. Probably not for what the reason people might think. I love the idea that these kids are staying an extra year because they need it. What we see too often is guys come out too early. Anthony Richardson. What would have happened with Anthony Richardson if he would have stayed in college for one more year? Mm-hmm. I don't know, but he couldn't have been any worse. He could have only been better. And I look at a lot of guys, even when I go back to Mark Sanchez started for one season and came out as a junior. What if he was getting $3 million from USC and stayed one more year? Would his career have been longer? You know, he had a good start to it, but then never anything else. And we look at guys like a Bo Nix. We look at Josh Allen. We look at Patrick Mahomes. We look at guys who have played in college all the way through. And those are the guys that tend to have the better careers.
Yeah.
So I think that NIL has really served. And you look at the guys this year. Should Dante Moore come out? Man, no. If he wasn't getting $3 million or $4 million a year, he probably would go get the money. But he's getting the money and he gets to say, maybe I'll stay another year.
Yeah.
You know, Ty Simpson.
Get to the 15, 16 starts, man. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think it helps quarterback development because they get to stay another year because they got the money. The money's not the issue.
My final thumbs up, Peter, is Notre Dame being left out of the college football playoff. I think that's one they got right.
I agree.
Head-to-head matters.
Has to matter.
What do we teach in sports, competition, the fucking rules, anything else? A fucking head-to-head doesn't matter.
Right.
And also, join a fucking conference if you want to have your goddamn fucking complaints.
I'm with you 100% on both of those. It's only because of greed that they're not in a conference. Pure and simple. It's
years
greed.
and years of this shit. I'm sick of it now.
Yep.
And now the rooster came home to roost now with it. Now you got proof to join a conference. You're still not going to do it because you arrogant fucks. That's the problem with this whole thing.
Totally agree. My last thumbs down, and I just saw this within the last couple days. Dylan Raiola. And you're like, why? What? So Dylan Raiola is transferring. He's entering the portal, and he's going to transfer out of Nebraska. And you say, well, what's the big deal? A lot of guys do that. You're right. Let me just tell you what Dylan Raiola has done over the last 6 years. Dylan Raiola went to 4 different high schools in 2 different states, okay? All because he was just trying to manipulate where he would go to school and all that kind of stuff. And you say, well, that's okay. He's been in Nebraska for 2 years. True. But before he went to Nebraska, he originally committed to Ohio State. Then he bailed on Ohio State, committed to Georgia, then bailed on Georgia, and then committed to Nebraska. And now he's bailing on Nebraska. So there's a way of looking at it to say that Dylan Raiola has been at 7 different schools, which will be 8 different schools in the last 6 years.
Craziness, dude.
It's insane. It's insane.
So,
and I say it also to say, be careful, whoever you are. I'm sure there'll be some teams. Texas Tech already said, no, thanks, we're not interested. But I'm sure some prominent school will pick them up. Be very careful because obviously this kid has no and I get it. I'm not even trying to say he's a dick or anything. He's just trying to do what he thinks is best for him. But so is everybody else. So are the rest of the players on your team. So is the coach. So you're not getting any kind of commitment. And how do you know he wouldn't just leave after one more year if things don't go the way he wants? And now you're right back to where you were a year ago. So I don't know. That's a thumbs down for me. I don't like that. It's just too much changing.
And he's coming off injury too. So buyers beware there.
Absolutely.
My last thumbs down, brother, is Notre Dame sitting out the ball game, taking your ball and going home. You said on this last week. The fans and the seniors, you're playing your last football game potentially. Yeah, there's a couple guys that'll go pro, get drafted, join the USFL, whatever that league is, or get on a practice squad. But it's not like playing with your boys at Notre Dame,
Right.
one last time out. And the fans, yeah, I know it's heartbreaking to get in the playoff. But come on, dude. You get to go. You got a lot of money, Notre Dame grads. Go to a bowl game. Enjoy the Christmas, New Year's break. That sucks because I know a lot of people like doing that over the time. And just they're not doing that to me. As you and me are both huge college football fans. And just this whole the college football playoff has kind of ruined that aspect of it. So
I agree.
That stinks. And obviously, I didn't put Michigan as my thumbs down because for obvious reasons there. I mean, that's just bad for the whole sport. Never mind just me.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole nother different thing. I'm with you on the Notre Dame thing for a couple reasons. Number one, I actually think I know moving forward they will, if they are ranked in the top 12, they're guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. And I think that could very much work against them because if I'm a CFP committee member, I'm not moving you up because you beat Stanford. I'm not moving you up because you beat Navy. I'm not moving you up if you're not beating good teams. So I'm looking at it as like, I'm keeping you outside the top 12 because I just don't think you've earned it. And the other thing is that I didn't like, the reason that they said they stayed out, not because the game wasn't worth it, but because we play for championships and we don't have an opportunity. Okay, so next year, God forbid you go 7-3 and have no right to be in the playoffs. I don't want to hear you saying, "Oh, we'll play a bowl game this year." No. You're Notre Dame. You play for championships. You don't get to play a bowl game, which means you don't get the money. That's the thing. That was their quote. That was Lavacqua or whatever his name is.
Yep.
He said Notre Dame plays for championships, so we're not playing in a secondary bowl game. No problem. So next year, if you go, I don't think they will, but if you go 7-3 next year, don't go crying, hey, we get to play in a bowl game. No. You only play for championships. Take a hike.
Also, Mr. Lavacqua, calm your balls down. Last year you played for championship. You haven't done that in years. You're not fucking Alabama.
And you haven't won one.
Let's calm down.
Yeah, stop it.
Fucking
stop it.
All right, Peter, let's gamble.
Yes, sir.
I was 1 for 3 last week. My first down in a while. 32-2. Peter was 2-2 for 32-20. I'm sorry, 30-20-2, not 32-2. 30-20.
I was gonna say that'd be a hell of a record.
Yeah, I would not be here if that was the case. Peter 32-20. I'm going to start noon Saturday in College Station. I don't like the way A&M's ended their year. Almost blowing a fucking huge game to Auburn. Massive comeback to win that game by 1, and then losing to Texas. I know it's a rivalry game on the road, but they showed some leaks in the hose there a little bit for me. And I like the way Miami's been playing. I like Carson Beck's played a lot of football, a lot of big time football. Give me Miami plus 3.5 at Texas A&M.
I'm with you on that one. I got Miami plus 3.5 at Texas A&M as well. I think this is a highly motivated Miami team. I think they know exactly what I was just talking about just a few minutes ago when I said there's a lot of pressure on them because if they lose this game by double digits, I think recruiting could take a hit. I think a transfer portal could take a hit. I think it could be a real problem because then everyone on the outside looks like they were right. So I really do think this is a motivated team that wants to prove to people that they belong in this tournament. 3.5 is a great number. 27-24, 30-27, all sound good to me, even if they lost. So I'll take Miami plus the 3.5.
I've teased this earlier. I think Peter did as well. Going to Outson Stadium in Oregon. Listen, this game has like Dan Lanning written all over it of like a 28-0 halftime lead here. Just fucking belt the ass. James Madison coach has been all over the place trying to recruit his new team, UCLA. Back to James Madison coaching. That's a lot going on there. When Oregon had to do one thing, focus on beating the shit out of you.
Yep.
So give me Oregon minus 21 at home against James Madison.
Yeah, here's the way I look at it. I think Oregon's a 50-plus point team in this spot. Like, I think they're going to score 50, 51, 52, 53, something, 50-something.
A 50 burger, as you said.
I think they're going to put up a 50 spot, which would mean that JMU would have to score about 30 to cover. I don't know that they score more than 10.
Yeah.
So I just don't see it. I just think they get smoked. They just don't belong in this game. And this goes back to what I said earlier to kind of start. What a shame that would be. Like, what a great season those kids have. Talk about they're loaded with confidence. They're talented. They got good players, a good coach. Wouldn't it be nice if they were going up against comparable talent to see if they were the best of the group of 5 and kind of a true championship, as opposed to you going up against Oregon? Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what the funny thing is, outside of our bets here, there's going to be a part of me that's rooting for both JMU and Tulane. Like, I would love to see the upset. I would love to be wrong about this one, and James Madison somehow wins this game like 27-24 or some shit like that, something crazy. And Tulane, the same thing. I would love it. What a great story for us to talk about next week. But come on, man. Oregon's motivated for this game too. Like, Oregon thinks they can win a national championship. So, yeah, no bueno.
To the NFL we go.
I got 3. I got to narrow this sucker down.
Not a tremendous slate here game-wise in my brain. I don't know if you – obviously you got more than I did, but I got the Cowboys laying 1.5 at home against the Chargers. I think this is just a good spot for this game. You basically just win the game. Chargers, a lot of tough games on the road, back to back to back. A lot of bruised up as they are already.
Yeah.
And now in-game getting bruised up. Going on the road, 1 o'clock kick in Dallas. I think Dallas's offense can get the best of the scrappy Chargers defense here.
I have a hard time going with Dallas after their loss last week to Minnesota.
I get it.
Oh, by the way, where are all the loud, talking heads about JJ McCarthy and he stinks and he's a bust? Where are they now?
Yeah.
Anyway, I just got a hard time.
It's amazing what time on task and stuff, if you give the kids some patience, does, isn't it?
Amazing. So quiet now. We're going to sit here and say that Kevin O'Connell is a quarterback whisperer. He did a great job with Sam Darnold, but you're not going to give him a freaking minute to see if he can do it with JJ. Like,
I know.
Oh, by the way, he's got a friggin' hose, man. He's got a can. Like, he can let it rip. So I always like seeing that because the strong arm can make up for some bad decisions sometimes as you get better. I'm going with the game tonight, man. I have stood by them since they lost a few weeks ago. I'm taking Seattle minus a 1.5 at home against the Rams. I honestly just do think I think they're better. I just think they're a better team. And with Devontae Adams out tonight, I think that's a big boost to Seattle defense. I think that defense is great anyway, like really great. They're one of the few teams that has shutouts this year. I think they're going to do great. I think they keep the Rams under 17 or less, and I think that ends up being a win. So Seattle minus the 1.5 over the Rams. I'm
going to Detroit. I don't know if Detroit will lose this game, but I like Pittsburgh covering a touchdown. I think they figured out a little bit of a double hit, dynamic duo run game the last couple of weeks with Warren and Gainwell. Rodgers looks very, very comfortable, healthy as he's been, minus the broken wrist on the opposite hand. Using those tight ends, that goddamn kid Washington and Jonnu Smith with the pitch, run it down people's throats. Lions can't stop the run. I know Lions have trouble losing 2 games in a row after a loss, but I think Pittsburgh needs this game too to keep the Ravens off their ass. So give me Pittsburgh to hang around. Give me +7 at Detroit.
It's a big number. That's a lot of points.
I know, man. And it's almost like they're teasing me to take it, but like
it's a lot of points for a team that doesn't play good defense. Like Detroit does not play good defense, so there's easy backdoor covers.
Yeah,
it wouldn't shock me if Pittsburgh won the game outright. Like, it's just bad defenses scare me. I really want to take the Bengals. With Quinn Ewers Quinn Ewers starting a quarterback for Miami, but I'm going to go back to the well. And this well has paid off for me a couple times easy, a couple times backdoor. I'm going back to the well here. I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns plus 10.5 at home against the Bills. The Bills have definitely been on a heater because they had to. I'd be shocked if they didn't win this game. But Cleveland's going to try to run the ball, and this is not a strength for the Bills. And I could just see this game being shortened because Cleveland runs the ball. Maybe a couple turnovers because the $40 million man at defensive end maybe gets after Josh Allen a little bit. I don't know, 10.5 is so many points. And while not every time, Cleveland tends to play better defense when they're at home. And I could just see this being closer than it needs to be because Buffalo's not a good overall team. So give me Cleveland plus the 10.5 at home against the Bills.
I have the Dolphins. I have the Hurricanes plus 2.5 at Texas A&M. The Oregon Ducks minus 21 versus JMU. The Cowboys minus 1.5 versus the Chargers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers plus 7 at Detroit.
I have the same as Scotty in college football, and in the NFL, I have Seattle minus 1.5 against the Rams. And that might be a little mental, but I'm taking Cleveland plus the 10.5 at home against the Bills.
All right, let's do trivia. Let's get out of here. Peter, Drew Brees is first all time in passing touchdowns with the Saints. Who is second? Aaron Brooks,
Bear.
Archie Manning, Bobby Hebert, Billy Kilmer.
What are their names again?
Aaron Brooks, Archie Manning, Bobby Hebert, Billy Kilmer.
I'm going to go with Bobby Hebert.
You are incorrect, sir. Aaron Brooks with
Really?
120. Do you want to guess how many Drew Brees had?
200 something.
491.
Oh my god. That is nuts, man. Oh my god.
Peter, Drew Brees is first all time in passing yards with the New Orleans Saints. Who is second? Archie Manning, Billy Kilmer, Aaron Brooks, Bobby Hebert.
By the way, was Bobby Hebert close on the top of the list there with the last
fourth.
one?
He was fourth.
Okay.
Archie was third, and Billy Kilmer was fifth.
What are the names? Same names, basically?
Same names, brother.
So Aaron Brooks, Billy Kilmer,
Bobby Hebert, and Archie.
Bobby Hebert, and Archie Manning. All right, so this is another one of those. Do you throw me a curveball when it's same guy twice? God, I really liked this guy when he was playing. Bobby Hebert.
Archie Manning.
Damn.
Archie, 21,734. You want to guess how many Drew Brees had?
What was Archie's number?
21,734.
What did Drew Brees have? 40,000?
68,010.
Oh my god. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Drew Brees the only player to have multiple 5,000-yard passing seasons?
I think so. Marino did it once, right? And
Marino did it once.
Yeah, Brady
Winston did it once.
Oh yeah.
He was 30 for 30 with 5,000 yards.
Amazing. What a story. Peter, who is the Saints' all-time leader in receiving touchdowns? Joe Horn, Marquise Colston, Michael Thomas, Jimmy Graham.
I feel like Jimmy Graham wasn't there long enough. What was the third one? Michael
Thomas.
I'm going to go with Michael Thomas.
You'd be incorrect.
Damn, 0 for 3. Jesus.
So it was Marquise Colston with 72. Joe Horn was third. Jimmy Graham was actually second. He was there long enough.
No shit.
Yeah.
Damn. I had a struggle this week.
And he's back to the 0-3s.
I had a good week last week. Just a little update. We had a Saturday night main event last week. Gunther ends up getting John Cena to submit. That was the big event, and that was the big happening in the
Why
main
was he
event.
smiling when he was submitting? Like he's comfortable going out like that.
Like this is it. Yeah. Now, so there's mixed fan reactions. So normally, when a guy is retiring in his retirement match, he loses because it's kind of like a passing of the torch. Because if you win, then it's like, well, why are you retiring? So it's usually Undertaker lost his last match, Goldberg lost his last match. Guys lose their last, even Steve Austin, like guys lose their last match. It's just how it goes. Ric Flair lost his last match. It's kind of a passing of the torch. So, and most guys don't have this like 1 year retirement tour. This is very rare. It's just like, usually it's just, this is it. And we have the last match and that's it. Or there's one comeback match and then that's it, So I think there was some peace. And the other thing the thing that pissed people off is that John Cena's whole thing was never quit, never give up. And he taps out. Now, some people are like, he would never tap out. Like if he was in a sleeper hold. So if he went to sleep, if he put him out and he lost, then he didn't quit. He still never quit. I get that. But the tapping out is like, I'm tapping out permanently. Like I think that's what kind of, I think a lot of people got that. They just didn't like it. But this is the nature of pro wrestling. Like people have a hard time with this, but it's just the nature. I mean, there's a lot of heat in social media about the way it went down, and it's just get over it, dude. It's over. He's done. He's finished, and he clearly wasn't, disturbed with how it went down. Like he kind of had a smile on his face,
Yeah.
So. But it was fun. It was an interesting card, and we salute John Cena. One of the things that people know, but a lot of people don't, is how much he did for Make-A-Wish Foundation. He literally is the #1 all-time wish maker for Make-A-Wish Foundation. He has He has made more wishes come true than any athlete ever.
That's awesome.
Which is interesting, especially because he doesn't have kids and doesn't think he's gonna have kids, because he looks at it like, I don't have the time to be a good dad. Fair, but I would love to see him have kids because he's a good man. So, but that's the kind of person he is, and I think that's maybe the most important thing for him to be remembered by.
You did good, John.
Good having you around. What are you more excited about this week, the playoff push or the college football playoffs?
So for this weekend, I would say the playoff push. For next New Year's Day, I'd say college football playoff are going to be 4 fucking doozies, my friend.
Yeah. It'll be, well, there's 1 on New Year's Eve and 3 on New Year's Day.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. I just was letting people know. That's all. As I said before, I don't think either of the underdogs are going to win. But at least to start the game, I'm going to be rooting for chaos, turnovers. Somehow Tulane takes a 21-0 lead. Somehow James Madison is winning 13-7 at half. Like, I would love to see it. I can't imagine it's going to happen in either one of those games. But I would love to see it just because
I'm interested to see. I mean, obviously we both picked Oregon, so we have that in our confidence thing. But I'd like to see how motivated Ole Miss is without Lane and how much Lane makes a difference. I know
that's the most interesting one.
I know
right?
the DC's now the head coach, and the OC came back to call plays for him, which was nice of them to do that, at least for the kids, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see how much Lane and the glue mattered there. And then if they lose too, I can't wait. Well, when they lose, I can't wait to see who leaves and goes to LSU with them too.
I suspect the quarterback will go with them, but
I think the quarterback, the running back, I think.
Yeah, they'll be a mass migration.
Yeah,
and that's also why I would have taken a little more time in finding a new coach.
Yeah,
because it would have been nice to see if you can get a guy that can get these guys to stick around.
Yeah.
For Scott Bracey, I'm Pete Colasano. You've been listening to Bump and Run. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Later.
All right. We've been doing really good with like almost exactly an hour and a half, like every episode.